At first glance, SCHD plus SCHG looks almost unbeatable. You get dividend income, quality companies, exposure to growth, and 2 ETFs with extremely low fees. It sounds like the perfect combination, one fund for today's cash flow and another for tomorrow's growth. But there is one problem that many investors completely overlook. SCHD and SCHG may look diversified because they hold different stocks, but their portfolio behavior can become much more concentrated than you think. And by the end of this video, I'll show you the specific risk hiding underneath this seemingly perfect 2 ETF strategy. If you enjoy practical ETF analysis like this, hit the like button, subscribe to Financial Literacy Lab, and turn on notifications, because we're going beyond the usual dividend versus growth conversation. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any investment. Why SCHD plus SCHG looks so good? Let's start with why this combination is so attractive. SCHD is designed around dividend-paying U.S. companies with an emphasis on financial strength and dividend quality. SCHG, on the other hand, targets U.S. large-cap growth companies. So, on paper, the combination appears complementary. SCHD can provide dividends and exposure to mature, profitable businesses, while SCHG gives you greater exposure to companies where investors expect stronger future earnings and revenue growth. And the fees are another reason investors like this strategy. Both ETFs have expense ratios around 0.06%, meaning a $10,000 investment costs roughly $6 per year in fund expenses, before considering the effects of market performance. That is remarkably inexpensive. But here is where the story gets interesting. The risk hiding under the surface: many investors assume that combining 2 ETFs automatically creates diversification. It doesn't. The real question isn't, how many ETFs do I own? The better question is, what risks am I actually exposed to? SCHD and SCHG use very different investment approaches, but both ultimately concentrate heavily in large U.S. companies. And that means your portfolio isn't simply dividend plus growth. It is still heavily dependent on the performance of the U.S. large-cap stock market. More importantly, the two funds can respond very differently when market leadership changes. Imagine you split your portfolio 50-50. If growth stocks dominate, SCHG could drive most of your returns. If value and dividend stocks outperform, SCHD could carry the portfolio. That sounds balanced. But there is a hidden issue: the portfolio's risk isn't necessarily split 50-50 just because your money is. A 50-50 allocation can behave very differently depending on which stocks, sectors, and valuation factors are driving the market. The valuation problem: this is the part I think investors should pay more attention to. Growth stocks often command higher valuations because investors are willing to pay more today for expected earnings in the future. That can work incredibly well when earnings expectations keep rising. But it can also work against you when interest rates increase, economic growth slows, or investors suddenly become less willing to pay premium prices for future growth. SCHG can therefore experience significant valuation-driven volatility. SCHD has a different profile. Its portfolio tends to emphasize established, profitable companies with attractive dividend characteristics. That can provide a useful counterweight. But don't mistake different for immune. SCHD can still decline substantially during a broad market sell-off. So the combination doesn't eliminate market risk. It simply gives you two different ways of participating in the market. And that distinction is extremely important. The biggest mistake, chasing the winner, here is where investors can sabotage an otherwise sensible strategy. Suppose SCHG dramatically outperforms SCHD for several years. You might start thinking, why am I holding SCHD? I should just own more SCHG. Then the market environment changes. Dividend and value-oriented stocks outperform. Suddenly, you reverse the decision and start buying more SCHD. This creates a dangerous cycle: buy what has already performed well, sell what has temporarily struggled, and repeat. The problem isn't necessarily SCHD or SCHG. The problem is abandoning your allocation every time market leadership changes. Instead, a disciplined investor could establish a target allocation and periodically rebalance. For example, a 60-40 or 50-50 split could be maintained based on your personal goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. The exact percentage isn't the important part. The discipline is. What smart investors look at instead? Rather than asking, is SCHD better than SCHG? Ask 3 questions. First, what job does each ETF perform in my portfolio? If SCHD is there for dividend income and quality exposure, and SCHG is there for long-term growth, you have clearly defined roles. Second, can I tolerate the periods when one side significantly underperforms? Because they will happen. And third, what is missing? This is the question most investors skip. SCHD plus SCHG gives you exposure primarily to US equities. It doesn't automatically provide international stocks, bonds, cash, or other asset classes. That doesn't make the strategy bad. It simply means you need to understand what you are actually building. A 2 ETF portfolio can be beautifully simple. But simplicity is not the same thing as complete diversification. And if you're still watching, comment below with your preferred allocation, 50-50 SCHD and SCHG, 60-40, or something completely different. I'd also love to know which ETF you think has the better long-term risk-reward profile. And if this analysis is useful, share this video with someone building a 2 ETF portfolio. The real advantage of the combination, despite everything I've said, I don't think SCHD plus SCHG is a bad strategy. In fact, for the right investor, it can be remarkably effective. The biggest advantage is that you're combining two different investment philosophies. SCHD emphasizes dividend characteristics and financially established businesses. SCHG emphasizes companies with stronger growth characteristics. That can create a portfolio that feels more balanced than owning a single factor or investment style. But the key is expectations. Don't expect SCHD to always protect you. Don't expect SCHG to always outperform. And don't assume that because the ETFs have different strategies, you've eliminated concentration risk. Instead, use the combination intentionally. Think about your income needs, growth objectives, time horizon, taxes, and ability to tolerate volatility. So, does SCHD plus SCHG look perfect? From the outside, absolutely. Low-cost ETFs. Dividend exposure. Growth exposure. High-quality US companies. Simple portfolio construction. But the thing that makes this strategy potentially dangerous is also what makes it attractive. Both ETFs can give you powerful exposure to US equities, but they can also leave you more dependent on the same broad market than you realize. The smartest investors aren't simply looking for the two best ETFs. They're asking, what happens to my entire portfolio if the market environment changes? That's the question that turns ETF collecting into actual portfolio construction. If you found this video useful, subscribe to Financial Literacy Lab, hit the like button, and share this video. And most importantly, comment below, if you had to build a 2 ETF portfolio today using SCHD and SCHG, what percentage would you allocate to each? Because the perfect portfolio doesn't exist. But a portfolio you understand, and can stick with through different market cycles, may be far more valuable.